Let me show you some holiday recipes that will work for any diet and lifestyle. From gluten-free to organic and plant-based, we've got you covered. These air fryer mac and cheese balls are wonderful for a holiday appetizer, and I'm going to show you how to make them gluten-free. So we're going to start with a boxed mac and cheese, and we have a lot of different varieties, whatever your dietary lifestyle is. If you're organic, if you're vegan, if you are gluten-free. So I prepared a box of the gluten-free mac and cheese, and then you wanna let it cool. This is sort of, if you are prepping this, similar to making rice balls, if you've ever done that. We're just utilizing a boxed mac and cheese so that you don't have to take that 45 minutes to an hour to make the risotto. So now I have my cooled down mac and cheese, and we're going to add some binders to it. I have a half a cup of gluten-free Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And then I have a half a cup of gluten-free flour. Again, whatever choice you want to make with these varieties. You can also use an almond flour if you'd like, if you want to add a little bit more protein to this. Then we're going to add 2 to 3 eggs, depending on what size your eggs are. And then we are going to combine everything. And that egg is important because you don't want this to be dry. If you are going egg-free and gluten-free, my recommendation to you would be to use a pumpkin, believe it or not, because it's not going to, if you're not using pumpkin pie spice, you're not going to get any of that cinnamon and, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg flavor, but you are gonna get that binder and that liquid, which you do want because these need to hold together without being dry. So we're just gonna get right in there with our hands because we're gonna have to form this into our rice balls or macaroni balls anyway. Okay, so once it starts coming together, and it's okay if the macaroni mushes, then we know that we are in a good spot to get ready to form our cheese balls. So once the macaroni and cheese is combined with the flour, the eggs, and the breadcrumbs, you're going to take a rounded tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and you're going to flatten it in your hand. Whenever I'm doing something like this, I like to have a wet paper towel nearby. It just helps to make it easier to form everything. Then we're going to take one of our little balls of mozzarella and put that in there. And you just want to press it down. Then we're going to take another rounded tablespoon and we're going to sandwich it on top. And you're going to press it together and then just form it into a ball. You might need to let this mixture sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes just to chill and reform back together if you need the time. Then we are going to add some dried basil to the Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. I also have some Parmesan cheese in there. Mix that up, and we're going to cover the outside of our mac and cheese balls. And again, we're using the gluten-free breadcrumbs, so we've got all of the goodness of this recipe, but we're keeping it gluten-free. So very simple, and this is one of those things that is a really great way to get the kids involved. It's not super duper messy, but it's something that they can absolutely help with and they can have a lot of fun with because it's almost like having a kind of Play-Doh situation. So again, you're just gonna sandwich that little mozzarella ball in there. You wanna make sure you're making them the same size and you wanna make sure you're closing those seams around that mozzarella ball. And then we're just gonna, oh, see, it's trying to sneak out. It's like an oyster with a pearl. Gotta make sure we close it up. And then we mix it around. After forming and chilling the macaroni balls, you can preheat your air fryer for about 4 to 5 minutes. Remember, just like an oven, we wanna make sure we do that, otherwise your cooking times are gonna be off. And then you are gonna cook them for about 6 to 8 minutes at 400 degrees. And then you're going to get these lovely macaroni and cheese balls. And again, because we use that gluten-free box mac and cheese and our other gluten-free products that you can find at ShopRite, they are perfect for somebody who is avoiding gluten at your holiday table. This pull-apart Brie Wreath is a perfect centerpiece for any charcuterie boards or tables. We are starting with some pizza dough, and I am using one that is gluten-free and dairy-free. So again, if you have to satisfy certain dietary lifestyle requirements, we've got you covered. What I'm gonna start by doing is putting a rind of triple cream Brie in the middle of a baking dish. So we just want to remove this. Now, if you are keeping this vegan, since you have your dairy-free dough, you can use a vegan cream cheese and just kind of keep it formed, maybe put it in the freezer. Not exactly the same, but it'll still get the point across. So we are gonna put that in the middle. And then what you wanna do is you're going to take your dough and roll it into little rounds. You wanna keep them the same size, and you're going to make a circle around the inner part of the rind and then on the outer. And when you're stacking the outer one, you wanna almost make a triangle. So you'll have one going all the way around, and then you're going to kind of window the dough. And what you'll do is you'll put it here. So you can see you're kind of creating little triangles with your little dough balls. And so now we're gonna put this aside so we can work on the topper portion for our brie. So I have a red pear here, and we're just going to slice it off. All right. So you wanna keep the peel on because we wanna have some of that red and green to make it festive, make it like a wreath. And then we're gonna make really thin cuts on our pear. You can also use an apple for this if you prefer. You could also do dried cranberries. I would just say to keep it in that red family so you get that festive look. And then we're gonna fan these out on top of our brie, which is gonna be the centerpiece. So I just start in the center and then work my way around, kind of pinwheeling, putting some of the smaller ones in between, kind of similar to what you did with the dough balls. Alrighty, put that there. And then we're gonna sprinkle some slivered almonds on top of that. Then on all of your wreathed dough balls, what you wanna do is have some egg and water and brush them so that they get that nice brown color. And then what I like to do to get that green in is I have some thyme and rosemary. So this is going to not only give you that sort of festive pine tree, Christmas tree look, but the fragrance is really going to make this a wonderful centerpiece. And all you have to do with these is go like that, and you sprinkle them all around our wreath. And if you want, you can take a piece of the rosemary sprig, just do it like this, so that you get that little topper. And you could put it right in the middle. And you could add that around for make more of that wreath look and feel. Totally up to you. So then you're gonna put it in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. And what you come out with is this gorgeous, gorgeous centerpiece. That egg wash gives us that beautiful browning. And because we made them into those rounds, you can pull apart and dip it into the brie. So the last thing I'm gonna do is add a little drizzle of our Wholesome Pantry honey. And you've got yourself a charcuterie board centerpiece that everybody is going to love. So these sugar cookie truffles are such a fun way to use some of that leftover cookie dough, if you have some left over, and to just make it really fun because you don't know what you're going to get in each truffle. And I'll tell you how. So what you wanna start with is some edible cookie dough. Now you can go to the refrigerated section and you can get some dough that is ready to eat, whether it is baked or raw. If you wanna take some of your own cookie recipes that you make from scratch, you just want to leave out the egg and substitute it with a 1/4 cup of applesauce per egg, because we don't wanna eat raw egg. And you wanna make sure you take however much flour you're going to use in that recipe, and you have to blanch it for a few minutes before you mix it in. Then your dough is safe to eat raw. But like I said, you can go into the refrigerated section, you could get a ready-to-go sugar cookie dough. You can even get some of our brands of sugar cookie or chocolate chip cookie that are good for those with allergens. So you can make this something that everybody can have. So to about 14.5 ounces of cookie dough, you're going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese. If you're making it dairy-free, just use dairy-free cream cheese. Then you're going to combine it together. You can use a hand mixer, you can use a spatula. And then after you have combined the mixture, you're going to let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. And again, you can do this with any cookie dough. It doesn't matter if it has chocolate chips in it. It doesn't matter if it's an all chocolate dough. As long as it is a cookie dough that when it's refrigerated, you can form it, you're good to go. So that is what I have here. After you refrigerate the mixed together cream cheese and cookie dough for about 15 to 20 minutes, then you can turn it into these little truffle shaped cookie balls. And then you're gonna put them back in the freezer for another 15 minutes. Then you're going to melt down your coating of choice. I used white chocolate. That way I have a nice canvas for all the decorating that I'm going to do. So I have it nice and melted here. So now we're just gonna drop the truffle in. You wanna have a fork, and you're just going to roll around your truffle and then take it out, and you just let it drip off and put it back down on your plate. And then for one last time, after you dip all of your truffles, you're going to put it in the refrigerator or freezer for another 15 minutes. So then once they are hardened, then you can decorate them with, I have these peppermint sprinkles, so they're peppermint flavor. You can also take your icings and do a little drizzle on here of your reds and greens, really whatever you want. But another really fun way to do your Christmas cookie decorating, it may be a little bit different of a way than you're normally used to. And I think it's nice, anything that always has that homemade touch, especially as your kids can help you. So you have these really cute truffles, a great way to use those doughs and to also make a dessert if you use some of the refrigerated doughs that are free from, to have something that everyone can snack on for a sweet holiday treat. Happy holidays, and like and follow for more.